Hi, I'm Master April Holly at American Tiger Martial Arts and Fitness. And the key concept we're going to go over today is on the requirement sheet at blue-black belt level. Again, look at these whenever you want, go back and review, super important. But the concept is taking your opponent's balance or pull. In the last video we were talking about, or maybe a couple behind, we were talking about how important it is to keep your pull straight, and I demonstrated how when I grabbed Mr. King's wrist and I was able to easily pull him to the ground when his pull wasn't straight, when I had made him lean. So we want to talk about that a little bit more. Mr. King, if you can come out. All right, so with this one, there's a lot of times in our style, even first year lessons, we have up, windmill, block, and grab. So a lot of times when students are new, we make sure they're just doing the block and grab properly, which is probably a good thing to go over right now anyways. When you do your, you're going to throw a left straight punch. When you do your up windmill block and you get out of the way, you want to block with your arm and then come down to your wrist. A lot of times students are thinking they're really quick and they're doing this. Well, timing might be okay, but if not, and I'm a little early, Mr. King punches my thumb is now broken or dislocated. So you want to do a block and grab by blocking with your arm and then grabbing. Now the part that goes along with this particular video is that when I do that, once I got the good block and grab, I want to pull him off balance. So he throws that punch, up and block and grab, and I pull him off balance. So all I did you notice I kept my pull straight, which allowed me to just manipulate him. He may have overextended just a little bit, which most fighters do, and then I was able to almost pull him to the floor by just bringing his hand down towards my thigh. So that's a super important thing. Even when you're striking somebody, let's let Mr. King have some fun. I'll let him strike me. So let's back up this way a little bit. All right. So let's say that I throw a punch and Mr. King does a block and a strike, any kind of strike. Boom. Now look, just freeze frame. Is my pull straight? No. He's already taken my pull with a strike. All right. I am kind of off balance. He does another strike. Whatever he wants to do. Is my pull straight? No. So every strike is causing this to happen, right? And so it's not just a block and grab and a pull, it's also how you strike. You're constantly keeping your opponent off balance. I remember hearing Master Gregory say one time that the person who keeps their balance wins the fight, and you can kind of see why that's true. So the second part of this is called uprooting your opponent. So when the roots are his feet, okay, and so one way to kind of uproot can be through strikes also. So let's say Mr. King throws, let's have him do a right, just so you can see it pretty easily. Let's have you do like a right roundhouse punch towards my ribs. And I come up underneath the chin, wham! Now if I did it hard enough, he's probably going to stumble back, right? And the stumbling means his roots have come out of the ground, all right? The other thing, pretty standard sweep is a good way to uproot an opponent. I'll let Mr. King have fun with this one. So let's see. Let's switch sides. I think it's going to be easier for them to see.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, so he's going to come and probably he's done a strike that's already going to, I'll kind of pre-frame this. Maybe he's done a strike to the kidney, so I'm already here. So he comes up and he's going to just attack this foot. He's going to sweep it out as he pushes me forward. And he just uprooted me. And then, you know, people talk about throws too. One of my favorites is kind of like a hip throw. There's different ways to do a hip throw, but if I was working with Mr. King, are you okay with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's go ahead and switch sides again. Right. So this is where I'm going to get both feet up off the ground. So let's say I've done something and I've gotten to the position where I'm here, I step in front of him, I squat. Now when I lift my hips, that picks him up off the ground, and then I can throw him to the ground. I'm doing it in slow motion. Mr. King's been my cameraman for the last hour. We haven't really warmed and stretched, so not going to throw him really hard right now. But that's the concept of uprooting your opponent, and it can be done in many ways. But once you got the person off their feet, you're probably in control of that situation. So thank you, Mr. King.